accomplish after your short break when you resume your journey?
Only if they've changed it, because I've got way more to say about this. I could talk for years about this.
Toma, can you roll a perception check for me?
What's the roll?
You can just press the dice next to perception on your character sheet.
That's how I did
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do intelligence rolls soon to not get stupider from this conversation.
Okay, yeah. So, as you guys are, like, walking along the side of this river, just completely dejected, you're just, like, looking around for any excuse to just stop things. And you happen to notice that, like, at the top of a sand dune, sort of, like, a little far ahead, you see, like, a person light something up. And so, like, there's a little flare. And then you notice the figure of the person, like, duck down behind a sand dune. So, like, they just lit a pipe or something and then ducked down behind a sand dune in front of you. Maybe about, like, 100 meters, 200 meters ahead. What do you do?
I think we should check it out.
You haven't noticed it. Only Toma noticed it.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell the others and try to check it out.
Do you offer to, like, sneak forward and look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you all just fine letting him sneak forward ahead on his own?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of like go forward a couple of paces in front of the group, behind him, and then stop.
Okay.
Kind of
So, do you keep the group like 200 meters back while he goes and checks it out, or do you all try and get as close as you can first?
So how far away was this dune?
About 200 meters to the dune, or like the top of the dune. This guy just like dipped behind it, so who knows how much further he is.
I ready my crossbow and rain in Dagger.
I think we can go a bit further. It's not like he's gonna see us over the top of the dune.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, about how close do you guys get before you send him forward to scout?
Right, go about halfway.
Yeah, that seems good.
Okay. So, I'll need a stealth check then from you, Toma.
I'll check.
Stealth.
Okay.
Sneak break.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Well,
Wow.
so yeah, you just like completely silently just fly up the edge of the sand dune and then peek yourself over. And you notice some guy just like smoking a pipe on the other side of the sand dune, overlooking a couple like tents that are set up in this little valley. And you can see a like small fire there in the middle of the tents. Like there's one person down there that's just sort of like maybe reading. It's sort of hard to tell what he's actually doing. He's holding something in his hands while he's sitting by the fire and looking at it. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's something else. Who knows? There's 3 tents. Each tent can maybe house about 3 people or so. Maybe 4 or 5. None of them seem to really have noticed you or are doing anything. They're either sleeping or just who knows. Skill checks are D20 plus the stat, and if you're trained in it, then it also rolls plus your proficiency bonus.
So I get close to this guy and can I tell anything about him?
His clothing is not terribly well taken care of, it seems. Like, it all doesn't really fit him quite right. A lot of it has some, like, holes in it and things. Some spots on it, it looks like it got torn or cut or something, and it just never really got repaired. just a hodgepodge of clothes that don't really go together that well. But, I mean, beyond that, he looks mostly healthy. And he's armed with a long sword, and pretty nondescript beyond that.
Can I see if the longsword's been used a lot?
It's definitely worn. It's been used a lot, but there's no sign it's been used recently.
What kind of an expression is he making?
He's like smoking a pipe right now, so he's enjoying whatever it is he's smoking. You don't recognize the scent, though.
Well, I guess there's not much else to check out for now.
Do you want to try and like check out the tents, or do you want to go back and report?
Oh, I can check out the tents.
Okay, so you circle back around, sneak down among the tents. Okay, yeah. So, do you check inside the tents, or do you just kind of like listen at them? What are you trying to do?
Well, I try to like listen if there's any people.
The first tent you come across, you can hear some like snoring sounds. Maybe 2 people in there. Bit hard to tell just from like the noise of them breathing. You circle around to the other ones, or do you sneak inside?
Oh, I'm gonna peek inside.
Okay, yeah. There's just 3 people asleep in there on like cots in the middle of the tent. They've got a bunch of like sacks just piled around them with like clothes hung up, and nothing really looks terribly out of place or interesting there.
So I can't find anything that would like indicate what they do.
I mean, you could start riling through their stuff and see if there's anything in there that would be obvious.
Well, I'm gonna try to do that then.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you like pull one of their sacks outside of the tent and start looking through it, and it's just filled with clothing, like all different sizes, obviously not all able to like fit one of these people in here, and there's like tons and tons, there's like 6 different hats, all different sizes, like 10 shirts just stuffed in this big sack, bunch of different pants. All of them are in different states of repair or disrepair. Some of them have like cuts and holes in them, other ones are perfectly fine, some of them have weird stains on them, but you can't really tell anything besides the fact that it has a stain on it by moonlight.
Has a what on it?
They're just nondescript stains, like something spilled on them, stained the clothing. You can't really tell what it is, though, because you can only see by moonlight right now, so.
Well, I'm gonna quickly check the other lens.
Okay. So, you go around to the next tent, and the next tent you come across are very distinct sounds of at least 3 people getting it on. A man, a woman, then the third one you can't really tell. Maybe it's a man with a high-pitched voice. Maybe it's a woman. It's sort of hard to tell.
Oh, I move on, I guess.
Okay. You go around to the third tent. This one, you can just hear, like, you hear a little bit of crying, and then just some breathing noises.
try to investigate further.
Okay, so you look inside, and tied up to like posts in the room, you see 3 people. One seems to be like a young child, maybe 8 or 9. They just seem asleep. They have like a rope tied around their hands. One is a woman who's like hung up by her hands from a big, large post in the center of the room. It looks like she was whipped recently, and she's just like standing there, bleeding, shirtless in the center of the room, tied up. And then the third one, there's a man unconscious on the floor. He has like a rope around his neck, and he's completely hogtied. And it looks like he took a bad hit to the head, maybe. And he's just like unconscious on the floor, laying there.
So there's people tied in there?
Yeah, just those 3 people tied up.
So I guess I could approach them and ask them what's up.
Only the woman is awake. And okay, so you just like go up to her then, and do you let her see you, or do you ask her from behind?
Well, I let her see me and I ask what is going on in here.
She sees you, and she like starts crying more heavily and talking in a language you don't quite understand.
Can I like tell the tone?
It seems like she's afraid of you, and it's a language you've heard a lot since you got here. It seems to be like the language that a lot of the native people around here speak. But you haven't actually learned it yet, being from the north.
I like try to figure out if she's like captive. Like, oh, I don't know, like what kind of a prisoner she is, maybe.
She's been beaten a lot, you can tell, just from like all the different bruises and cuts along her body. You can't really tell more beyond the fact that like she's definitely been beaten. She was recently whipped, and she has like still bloody marks across her back. Anything more than that, you'd have to actually like cut her down, strip her down, and like look in detail, or be able to talk to her. But she doesn't seem to speak your language.
Well, I guess I'll just leave the place for now and go meet up with the others.
Okay. So, as you like are about to get back to the group, the rest of you see this guy with the pipe just sort of like summit the hill again, right as he's like at the bottom, and like stood up and started walking towards you. And then he just like stops, drops his pipe, and then just dashes back down the other side of the hill as Toma's just like walking towards you. I'll tell you something. So what do you guys do?
Wait, so who's he coming towards? Us or Toma?
Toma's coming towards you. This guy saw him walking towards you guys, and then dashed back down the other side of the hill towards the tents.
Okay. I mean, I guess we gotta
run up to Toma.
That seems like not great for us, but
We've been spotted.
we don't even know if they're bad people.
Yeah, we know nothing. So I guess
So
we
it's
should run
not
up to
it's not
Toma
like
and
yeah. That seems like the best solution.
Can I like catch him?
You didn't notice him run like that.
But we saw him, right?
Yeah, the rest of you saw him though.
Yeah, so I'm like, shit, we've been spotted. I point up the hill, back past you. Hello. Back past Toma.
Do you
Can I
yell?
try
Do you
and
start
shoot
running
him?
towards?
Am
Yeah.
I close enough to try and shoot him?
What's the range on a crossbow? Do you have that written down, or I can just find it in here?
I don't know. More people.
Where is the gear section?
Is he over 30 feet away?
Yeah, he's definitely over 30 feet. The rest of you
Yeah.
were like 100 meters or so. No, you were closer than 100. You were probably about like 50 meters. So yeah,
That's still quite a few feet.
quite a while. Why can't I find the gear section? I went past it, that's why. That's not very helpful. Okay, range on the crossbow. It's a light crossbow. Your max range is about 120 feet, so...
No, I could give it a go.
That would be about 40 yards, about 40 meters. It would be just outside of your max range.
Oh, okay.
So... you could...
So
I
I'll
also-
crossbow away.
Yeah.
I see you fiddling with your bow and trying to figure out if you can hit him, and I push the crossbow or something and say you don't even know if. Why do you want to shoot that guy? You don't know if he's an enemy or anything.
Okay. So do you guys start running towards Toma? Who's just like strolling towards you?
Yeah, I'm like pointing behind him, going. He just saw you, and ran away.
Are
ran
you
off.
yelling?
Yeah, he saw you. He saw you.
Okay.
No, not at the top of my lungs, but loud enough so that Toma can hear me based on the distance.
I mean, he's pretty far away when the like second this happens. So if he can hear you, if there was someone at the top of the hill, they could probably hear you.
Well, we've all been spotted anyway.
Okay. So
It's
Toma,
not like it'll wake up the people in the tents or anything, right?
yeah. So Toma, he yells at you that like you've been spotted. Started pointing to the hill behind you. What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I have the same mentality as the tiefling guy,
Okay. So do
Rachel.
you just like go
Yeah,
back
like,
to
not
the
enough
group
information.
and
What?
do you just go back to the group and like, hey, we'll decide this. We'll just take this on together, or do you like run
Yeah.
back up to the top of the hill?
I mean,
So yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
run
gonna-
past him though. I run to him.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay.
gonna
What
meet up
did
with
you see?
the others. Well, I'm gonna tell everyone what I saw. Like, lots of clothes with some stains on them and the captives, or what seemed like ones, and the happy times in the second tent.
I start drawing
Some
my,
dude
my
or woman.
I start drawing my scimitar and go, so it will not be a boring night after all. I get off
What were you
back there
planning
as
on
well,
doing?
whisper in his ear. Robbers! We must rescue
Not
the
necessarily.
victims.
Might be
Rapists,
criminals.
possibly.
Perhaps.
I mean, the prisoners might be criminals.
Could be.
Banditry at least.
Maybe we should just try talking to them.
I ask if anyone knows the local language.
Kingson
Can if
will-
necessary.
This is so weird.
What?
Sorry. I'm not usually on this side of the argument.
Yeah, I can know the language if no one else does.
Yeah, Camson definitely knows it. Not sure who else could know it. So the local tongue is called Rishemi. The thing that is Elven is called Tetherian. Tetherian, sorry.
Maybe type them.
Yeah.
Think I know either.
I have the comprehend languages spell if I need.
those are the two.
we're
Kempson
detectives.
knows Rashemi for sure. A couple of you know Tetherian. I'm not sure if anyone else is terribly local and would know Rashemi.
Yeah. So should we just go in there calmly and talk it out?
Okay. So, you guys start strolling to the top of the hill. Yes, I think you guys would arrive at the top of the hill to see 6 people down there with weapons drawn. Like, 4 of them have bows ready. One of them just has a sword and is standing there. And then the third one is holding what looks like a book and just like waiting, watching you guys. So they're just like standing there, their weapons ready, just like looking at you at the top of the hill.
Okay, I shout out to them. I go, "Ho, friends!"
That's
What
it.
language?
Big leap.
In Rashemi.
Okay, yeah.
I assumed that he told me that they were speaking
Yeah.
something that he didn't understand. So I'm gonna try that and see if it was that.
Yeah, the person holding a book responds, and he's like, "Hello, why are you approaching our camp?"
To find out what happened to some missing people. And we found out that you have some prisoners.
I
Yeah, I'm
guess
like-
now they know that. Now they know we've been down there.
Yeah.
It seems not great.
I'll kind of like look at Ramsden, like,
Again.
And
why would you tell
There
them
goes the
that?
stealth.
he goes back up and he's like, "Our prisoners are fishermen that were taken into slavery and payment for their debts. Were you seeking them
so
for
you're
similar
slavery.
offenses?" This isn't a super uncommon practice in this sort of region.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
slavery is
the trouble.
like
The actual trouble is that
Camden would consider it appropriate to free slaves.
That's fine.
So while for like outside of this group, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea for him to be the one talking to them. He thinks it is a good idea because he would want freedom, so therefore I have to follow suit.
Alright,
That's how it
so
works.
How are you approaching this?
Could we?
I think she. Yeah.
I don't know if any of these people know me well enough.
Fluff,
She's
you're
cutting
dropping
out.
out.
you're dying on Skype.
Yeah. But yeah, none of us
Try to
like,
restart
are
my camera. So.
Should someone else maybe host a call if Scarce Internet can't handle streaming and the call?
I mean, I could, but then he has to redo the camera side.
Yeah.
I might have to move them, but yeah, it's probably better if a European is hosting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Hang
So,
up and I'll recall.
we'll do a quick break and we'll fix that.